Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with more deck techs. This week's going to be a little bit strange. We've got the Pauper deck coming up, not today, but that will be coming later in the week. We've got some old school stuff going back a couple of sets in standard, and we've got at least one, maybe two if I get the other one done, of new commanders coming in Wilds of Eldraine. So, bear with me this week, we're going to be leaping around a little bit. Obviously, Wilds of Eldraine, by the time you see this video, pre-release this weekend coming up. Hopefully I'll be well enough to go to the pre-releases after all my fun and games over the last couple of weeks, but you know, we'll definitely try and get to one. And then obviously we'll be hitting a lot more Wilds of Eldraine stuff later on the YouTube channel. But I'm going to kick off today with one of the cards that really did catch my imagination, because it basically plays around with a card type I really loved from the original Eldraine, and obviously that card is Beluna, Grandsquall. Team all colours, so green, blue and red for 4/4 Giant Noble. If you play the creature side, has trample, and permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost one less to cast. That's cool. But Seek Thrills is pretty good as well. Two colours, blue, red and black, blue, red and green. Mill 7 cards, then put all cards that have an adventure from among the milled cards into your hand. Wizards at last have given us an adventure commander, and I'm really excited for this one. I am so looking forward to picking this one up and building this in real life. And because of that, I've already built it ready to go on MTGO. It's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, as usual with the decks, when I'm doing them before the release, this can be on Goldfish's website, so thanks to Goldfish. Hopefully, you'll make sense of it, but this is what the deck looks like. As usual, as I was saying, because this is before the pre-releases happened as I'm recording this, ignore the values up here. At the moment, if you want to buy the bases of this deck, it's going to cost you, what, $300 or 40-ish tickets on MTGO. But obviously we don't know what the prices are of the cards I've included from the new sets, so, you know, that's the way it goes. Anyway, let's go through it. Some of them you're going to recognise, and some of them I'll talk about quickly. Bellen's already here. It's picked up the Masterpiece version for some reason, I have no idea. Edgewall Innkeeper, everyone remembers this from Eldraine back in the day. Casts a creature spell that has an adventure draw card. Yep, nice little card draw trick. We like that. Elusive Otter is going to be one of the new cards that's coming out. 1 mana for a prowess creature that says creatures with power less than Elusive Otter's power can't be blocked by it. Can't block it, sorry. And it also has an adventure. Grove's Bounty, green and X. Distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Nice little way of pumping up your team when you get there, and having the otter come in. Nice, you like an otter. Flaxen Intruder is back in from the original Eldraine set. 7 mana for the adventure, gives you 3 bear tokens, and then when you play the actual Flaxen Intruder itself, deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, destroy target enchantment or artifact. So there's your enchantment and artifact removal in Commander. Merfolk Secret Keeper, just because it's a mill card, it's a 0/4 blocker, and it's another one with adventure, so it went in. Bramble Familiar is one of the new ones. It's 1 and green and 1 for basically an elf that taps. It's a 2/2 elemental recurring, I should say, but it taps for green mana. Or you can pay 1 and a green, tap it, discard a card, and bounce it back to your hand, which is quite nice because that means you get to play the sorcery side adventure again. Mill 7 cards for 7 mana. And then put a creature, enchantment or land card from among the mill cards onto the battlefield. Quite like that idea. Not bad. Curious Pair is back again. Food token or 1/3 blocker. Same with the Empress Shield Breaker I've included. A bit of artifact removal or 2/1 fighter. The Squire also returns. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has an adventure, the Squire gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. Bit weak, but it does give you an early doors attacker, which might help you out a little bit. Hypnotic Sprite, counter target spell with mana cost 3 or less, and it's a 2/1 flying, so that's pretty nice. Rimnock Light pumps a creature and then becomes a 3/1 that can't block. Scalding Viper is one of the new ones. 1 and red for a 2/1 serpent, or elemental snake I should say. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, it pings that player. And it's also got the bounce ability, return target permanent to its owner's hand, for 1 and a blue. This is sorcery speed though, it's not instant speed, so can be a little bit complicated. Animated Fairies back in, puts target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 creature with 4+1/+1 counters on it, or you get 2/2 flyer. Fine. Bone Crusher Giant, you all know, repeat, including from the old Drain set. 2 damage that can't be prevented for 2 mana, and when it becomes target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. So pretty nice. Brazen Borrower, the instant version of our previous card we were talking about. Bounce something and then you can only block creatures for flying, but it does have flash, so 3/1 blocker in the air that suddenly appears is pretty cool. Frolicking Familiar, we don't know the cost of yet, obviously. New card. Plus it's 3 mana for a 2/2, blue, and 2 mana for a 2/2 flyer. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Only instants of sorcery, so notice that. And it's blow off steam as well. 1 red, ping something for 1 point of damage. Yeah, that's okay. Cope with that. Lovestruck Beast is back. Why would you not play it? Same with Merchant of the Veil, just to get the card and just draw and discard on the go. Queen of Ice, to tap the target creature, hit, and then does the same when it attacks for 3 mana. Rosethorn Acolyte, add 1 mana of any colour if you get stuck, and then it taps for mana of any colour. So yeah, okay. Galvanic Giant, a new one. Storm Reading is the adventure side for instant speed for 7 mana. Draw 4 cards and discard 2. A little bit expensive, but the other side of it, 3/3 for 4 mana, the Galvanic Giant side. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Yeah, right, I can cope with that. Galbrick Carever is also back. That comes in just as a +2/+2 pump as a Shield's Might, and then it becomes a nice little human warrior. Young Red Dragon. One thing I forgot when I started building this deck was we got adventure cards in Battle for Baldur's Gate, and this is one of them. So Young Red Dragon is back. Red and 1 for a treasure token, and then you can pay 4 mana for a 3/2 flyer that can't block. That's fine. Cope with that. Ettercap also comes in from that set. Destroy target creature with flying for 3 mana from the web shot, the adventure side, and then it becomes a 2/5 reach for 5 mana. Not great, but yeah, let's destroy flyer. Miriam's around still. Sea Hag's also here. 2 target creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn and can't be blocked. And then when it enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -4, -0 until the end of turn. Cope with that as well. Young Blue Dragon. Sorcery speed, 1 and blue for the Sand Augury, scry, and then draw a card, and then flying for 5 mana. Yeah, okay, still an adventure creature. Amethyst Dragon, a lot more fun. 5 mana, explosive crystal, deals 4 damage to, as you divide as amongst any number of targets as you choose, and then for 6 mana, a flying and haste dragon for 4/4. I can cope with that. Belun's Gatekeeper is another new one. Returning target creature you don't control mana value 3 or less to its owner's hand for 1 and a blue, which is sorcery again. Not sure why it couldn't be instant, but you know, I suppose they're reserving that for the wonderful Brazen Borrower. And then 6 mana, 1 and blue and 5 more for 6/5 giant. Yeah, okay, we'll cope with it, but it's fine. Horn-Locked Whale is also more fun. This has got the instant, this has got the rare ability. The owner of target attacking creature you control puts it on the top of the bottom of their library. That's fine. And then you get the flash ability. Flash Ward 2. Horn-Locked Whale enters the battlefield tapped unless it's your turn. Now, a little bit disappointed in that one, I have to say. I'd prefer it just enter play, and that's the end of it. Ward's quite nice. Ward 2 is quite good on 6/6. Cope with that. And realistically, you can flash it in at the end of your opponent's turn before your turn, so you still get the benefit of it. So bear that in mind. Tree Folk's back. Beanstalk Giant's back to go and get the lands. Dread Linhorn comes in from Baldur's Gate. Snake Dragon, put 2 +1/+1 adventure counters on target creature and untap it. It gains hexproof until the end of turn. That's quite cool. Nice little, defending your pleading layers. And then it becomes a 7/6, can't be blocked by creatures with power of 3 or less. Okay. Fang Dragon, also from Baldur's Gate, deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control for sorcery, so red and 1, I cope with that. And then for 7 mana becomes 6/3 fly. Bit weak on the other side of it, but yeah, the board sweep's quite nice. Sapphire Dragon, counter target non-creature spell for 3 mana, blue and 2. And then 7 mana for 2 blue and 5, enters the battlefield, or attack. Well, when it attacks or blocks, scry 2. That I can cope with. That's pretty good. Sword Coast Serpent is also win. Return target creature to its owner's hand for blue and 1. That's fine. Cope with that. And then for 7 mana, can't be blocked by as long as you've cast a non-creature spell this turn. You should be doing that quite regularly. And Tinkular Hunter, the last one that comes in from Baldur's Gate. Exile target creature. Card from your graveyard until the end of turn. You may cast that card. That's fine. End of your next turn, by the way. So you don't have to do it there and then. And then 5 and 2 green. Trample. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a creature spell you cast in from exile. Okay, then. Cope with that. So that's the basis of the deck. Obviously, a whole lot of adventure spells. So, 35 creatures, all of which, apart from the Innkeeper, have a adventure attached to them, so I can cope with that. That's pretty good. Spell-wise, Cyclonic Rift, Rampant Growth, Sylvan Scrying, Monster Manual, another sorcery that's got, an artifact that's got the adventure side of things. That's in. Search for Tomorrow and Blasphemous Act to control the board, with Rift, that's fine. Ramp side is heavy. Not going to lie about this because we want to make sure we're hitting it. So, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, one of each of the medallions to speed things up, and then the Talisman of Creativity, Curiosity, and Impulse to help us ramp. But there's a couple of other things we need to point out. Lucky Clover, whenever you cast an adventure, instant, or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. That will get destroyed quite rapidly. We have got Elixir of Immortality in here to shuffle everything back into the library if it goes pear-shaped. And we've also got the boots are here just to protect Beluna when we get there. We need her protected quite significantly, so this goes in and protects her because we want to keep her in play when we're playing her, especially if we're going to make our adventure spells cost 1 less. Now, if you've got the medallions in play, you're looking at 2 less, which brings the cost of some of the adventure side of things down quite significantly. So bear that in mind when you're building the deck. A few other things I've included for a bit of fun, and they are a bit of fun in this deck. I'm not going to say they're any good. Call of Game and Breaks, a new card. Enters the battlefield to become the Monarch. I like becoming the Monarch. That's a bit of, I am English after all. At the beginning of your upkeep, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among up to 2 target creatures. Then if you're the Monarch, double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. This should live in a +1/+1 counter deck. There's no argument about that. But I've included it here just for the laugh factor. Court of Embereth. Again, you become the Monarch when it comes into play. Each upkeep you get 3/1 Knight creature token, and if you're the Monarch you then deal X damage to each opponent where X is the number of creatures you control. This is going to be a win condition in a lot of decks, and I can see it being big as things go forward. I've missed out Growing Rights here, mainly because it doesn't like showing up. You all know what Growing Rights does. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put a creature from amongst them into your hand, and then when you've got 4 more creatures in play, it flips and becomes Scare's Cradle. And it's really cheap on MTGO at the moment. Not so much in real life, but MTGO, really cheap. Court of Embereth is also here. Sorry, the virtues here. I've got one of each of the virtues in. So we've got the new red one that deals 2 damage for one red and 1 to any target, and then it basically, whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, exile that many cards from your top of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Virtue and Knowledge copies a triggered ability. You may choose new targets, and then if a permanent entering the battlefield causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers additional time. I don't think well, yeah, I have. We've got a few things that trigger, but not sure. But Virtuous Strength is probably the most expensive one of these. Green for a single adventure thing. Return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. And then for 7 mana, if you tap a basic land for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. Now we have got some basic lands in the deck, I'll be honest about it. Not many, we've got a few. We've got 3 of each of the basics in. And we've got ways of finding them out. We've got the traditional, well becoming the traditional for me, Streets of Capenna lands in here. And the usual selection of red, blue and green lands in the deck. I'm not going to go through them all. You can look on the deck list, it's down below. Go and click on it, you'll come to this page. And that's it. I couldn't resist it any longer. I had to play, well, didn't have to didn't have to play, had to build Beluna really quickly. So that's today's video. This is what I'll be playing as soon as I can pick these up on MTGO, which I think is a couple of weeks' time from the time this video comes out. And I'll do a couple more Wildsville training videos coming up. Hopefully I'll get another one done this week. But that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.